Hello, hello. Guys, I have to bear with me. I have a little liquid courage going on here. So I put my name in the bucket, not expecting for it to be called. Mission Impossible. This story goes back about 4 years. It was winter in Philadelphia, and the girlfriend that I had at that time, my ex-girlfriend, we'll call her Mary. Her family had a house up in the Poconos, and they like to go up there during the summertime and jet ski on the lake. But you know, my then girlfriend Mary decided that we should go up there and go skiing. I hadn't been skiing that many times, as you can imagine. I'm from somewhere relatively close to the border, and we don't really do much skiing down in Jamaica where I'm from. It's mostly, you know, running very fast in the Olympics, and of course, every once in a while we throw out a bobsled. But I was game for it, so I decided, all right, let's go. You know, but I told her, you know, my car has a rear-wheel drive, so going up there while it's snowing is not going to be a good idea. We need to find somebody that has a front-wheel drive car. So she found one of her friends. We called her friend Jane. So Jane had a front-wheel drive car, and we decided we were going to use her car to drive up. I would park mine. As it turned out, 4 or 5 years ago, it was a really big snowstorm. I mean, it was coming in from, you know, Alaska probably. It was supposed to drop about 18 inches in Philadelphia, 2.5 feet up in the Poconos. So we said, all right, you know, we loaded up our baskets and, you know, packed our food, and we got going. So me, Mary, and Jane got in her car. Now we knew that there was going to be problems when we got onto 80, which is just off of 476 up here, and we saw a jackknife tractor trailer. Now mind you, before we even got onto the Pennsylvania Turnpike to get onto 80, on 309 there were at least three or four SUVs in a ditch, and we're going up there with a RAV4. So you can imagine what we're out for. So we get onto 80, and there's a jackknife tractor trailer. Now I've seen jackknife tractor trailers before on, like, you know, what is that reality show, Ice Truckers or something? I've seen those. I've never seen a jackknife tractor trailer that had jackknifed and slid on top of another jackknife tractor trailer. I had to pull off to the side just to take a picture of it. And we are only 45 minutes into our trip. This must take us about 4 hours. So at this point, you can imagine Jules is girding his loins, preparing for a serious expedition. So we drive along, and unfortunately, Jane, I mean, no disrespect to you, Mark, but she was also bipolar, but she's bipolar negative too. Like, none of the mania, all of the depression. Not a very happy person to be in the backseat driving her car when you're driving. So we drive along, and the first thing that happens is I decide I'm going to drive at my own pace. You know, I don't know how to drive with 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches of snow on the ground. And so as we drive along for the next hour, the backup behind us goes from 4 cars to 6 cars to all the way around the bend, probably about 15 cars. And they're all honking and flashing their lights, and the brave ones are overtaking us, and I'm just driving along. Taking it easy, Jamaica no problem. So anyway, long story short, halfway up there, Mary, God bless her heart, is a gangster. Not really a gangster, but she's got a strong heart. She is our windshield wiper no longer works because it's got ice frozen up on it. She's literally sitting on the outside of the passenger seat, outside the window, squeegeeing the windshield while I'm driving. The thing that kicks it off is we get maybe about 3 miles away from our final destination, and we get to this point where the road goes down into a T, and then it comes up this way. When I look up this other side of the T, there are more cars off onto the ditch with just their flashers on. People have left them hours ago. But I'm not giving up there. So I try to go down slowly down the street and then, you know, break the left and go up the street. Wasn't happening. Was getting no traction. I ended up having to back all the way up, and that's when I brought in, you know, the rally car Fast and Furious style. So I went down at a speedy 25 miles an hour. Drew my handbrake, went sideways into the corner, hit the accelerator, and started speeding up this incline, which was about 35 degrees. I get about maybe 25 yards up a 60-yard slope, and I start to lose traction, and that's when I start to improvise. I slalom my way up. So I lock it all the way to the right. I drive like this. Lock all the way in the other direction. And so I'm going like this, all the way up the hill. Finally, about 20 minutes later, I make it to the top of this 60-yard hill. We cruise into her, you know, her house. And unfortunately, the guy who was supposed to have plowed the driveway hadn't done so. So I ended up having to use the handbrake one more time. Went sideways, ran right through about 2 feet of snow, kicking up drifts on either side, right until it stopped driving right in front of the house. We all jumped out, dropped our bags off inside, turned on the heat, turned on the electricity, dropped everything off, went outside, stood up on the railing of the deck, and jumped off into clear, clean, white snow and made snow angels.